So I got a dream that I'm gonna be at the top of the scene. On every screen, making my presence something to be seen, yeah. I'll make them all see that I could be anything I wanna be. If you got a dream, then you need persistence and lots of belief, yeah. Yo, don't take that negative energy, I replace that. I just wanna be me, I don't fake that. I just wanna be free, yeah, chase that. I got a new obsession, it's helping and teaching and giving everyone a lesson. It's living and winning and building something that's impressive. I don't wanna do the same thing, I wanna be progressive, So I'ma make a new me, a new beast, a true fiend. He's everything that he wants to be. Look in the mirror, what he wants to see is a dude looking back at me. I stay on track, yeah, track things. I'm setting goals, life hacking. I'm steady stacking. I see myself being happy. A better me with a strategy that I'm attacking.
Wait to the test and you know I'll lace that. Hit me in the face and I'm hitting right back. I enjoy the chase so I'll stay on track, yeah. I enjoy the race so I'll make that bag. Got a lot of dreams that I'll make come true. Got a lot of things that I wanna do. Got a lot of goals that I wanna prove. And there's not a lot of time so I gotta make moves.
I wanna do. I got plans, got schemes that I follow through. I make all my gains from what I produce. I don't lose, I learn, don't get confused. Peace in the dark, cause I work fucking hard. So many nights sitting in the graveyard, cause they lost to the grind, but that's fine, that's a start. To do something great, sacrifice is a part of it. It's just the start of it. You can't start then quit, you have to harness this, cause energy is bliss. And when I swing, I miss, but then I swing and hit. So I'ma swing again, and I'ma swing again. Then I'll be taking off, cause I don't wait or pause. I got the game unlocked, I never mind the clock. I take the last shot, I got a fast cross. Villain energy, cause I'm the last boss.
Test and you know I'll lace that. Hit me in the face and I'm hitting right back. I enjoy the chase so I'll stay on track, yeah. I enjoy the race so I'll make that bag. Got a lot of dreams that I'll make come true. Got a lot of things that I wanna do. Got a lot of goals that I wanna prove. And there's not a lot of time so I gotta make moves.
Hey everyone, my name is Dutchess, and this is Dutchess Discussions, where we talk about true crime and missing cases. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you all so much for joining me today. We are going to be talking about the Rae Johnston case, which I have been working on since February of 2022. And we are going to have a special guest in a little bit, and that is going to be Rae Johnston's mother, Sharon. And we have a few things that we want to share with you about this case. So I'm just going to go over to the chat and say hey to everybody, and then we will get started. And I'll kind of go over the case and bring everybody up to speed about where we are in the Rae Johnston case. I hope everybody is doing well on this Tuesday. It's getting chilly outside. Can you guys put a 1 in the chat and let me know if you can hear me and if my microphone sounds okay? Lori T, thank you so much, lovely, for your super chat. That is so sweet of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much, Lori. I just happened to see that. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad that you are here. Thank you for being here. So hang on a second, because we got a special dance for those people. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go back so I can say hey to everybody. Hey, Amy, how are you doing, love? So glad that you're here. Hey, Hurricane Camille, darling. So glad to see you here. And we've got Lori T in the house. Thank you so much again for your super chat, baby. And then we've got, let's see, who else? We got What Big Eyes. Hey, love, it's so good to see you. Scott H., thank you so much for being here, sir. And I wanted to let you know that I did give you a wrench. I don't know why I don't have you as having a wrench on this channel, but I do have you having one now. So I wanted to make sure that you knew that. Thank you for being here. Let's go down. Hey, Annabella, how are you, love? I'm so glad to see you. Hey, Canadian Witch, thank you so much for being here. It was so nice to meet you and Laurie last night, and I'm so grateful for you coming over for my live stream today. Yep, we've got Amber Ray's details. If you guys want to know about that, you guys can look at the moderators dropping the information in the chat. Hey, Cat's Eye, so good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hey, Lily. Yes, we are sassy but classy over here. Do your job because Dutchie is doing hers. You're the best, baby. I love you so much. Who else we got in here? We got Jody Reason in the chat. Nice to have you here. Hey, Jenny Lou. Thank you so much for being here. Glad to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hello, Thomas. So nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Hey, Jaded. Glad to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hi, Sherry. So glad to see you here. Hope you all are doing well. So, can you guys hear me a little better now? Does it sound a little better? I may not sound smooth as butter like Jenny on her microphone. I may have to get me something new. But we are going to be covering Amber Rae Johnston, or Johnston, I should say. Oh, Canadian Witch, thank you so much for becoming a new member. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Just Tiff. I know you're working, baby, but I appreciate you being here. So does my microphone sound okay now? Am I still sounding muffled, Lily? Let me know, baby. So the Amber Rae Johnston case started in August of 2021. And at that time, her mother did not know that she had gone missing. She thought maybe that she might be in jail or she just might be, living out on the street because she was homeless there for a while. And it wasn't until 4 months later that Sharon realized that there was something that was wrong. And so she started making phone calls, reported Amber as being missing because she could not get in touch with her. There had not been any post on her social media. The case kind of unfolded at that point where we began to find out a lot of different information. Amber was in Bullhead City, Arizona, where she was living with her boyfriend, Jarrett Ward. They were originally in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, which is where I live, and had gone out west. They had lived in different areas, out in California, Arizona. Now, Bullhead City is about 90 miles southeast of Las Vegas. It is a casino town that is on the Colorado River. In the months leading up to Amber going missing, she had sent her mother quite a few messages that were very concerning. And I don't think Amber's mother at the time knew really how to process that information. She didn't know if it was Was it because she was using drugs? Was it because she was, panicked about something? But she did express many concerns about Jarrett Ward uh, stealing her phone, breaking into, getting information, possibly using her money. These were all concerns. Amber thought somebody was out to get her, that they were going to come and get her kids, that they were going to get her mother. Like she was in this extreme state of paranoia. And then she went missing. And she supposedly took a Greyhound bus from Bullhead City, Arizona. The destination originally was not clear. We later found out that her phone pinged in Flagstaff, Arizona. And once we did some tracking with the detective, we found out that the bus route that she took actually went up through Arizona, Texas, on up into Kentucky, Tennessee, all the way up into Pennsylvania, and then it came back down into North Carolina. And this is where it gets tricky because her boyfriend, Jarrett Ward, states to her mother that Amber's intention was to take a bus and that she was coming to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina to see him. However, Jarrett Ward had left Bullhead City and went to Las Vegas, 90 miles northwest, and then taken a bus home to Myrtle Beach just a couple of weeks before Amber was to take a bus and leave on August the 19th. The reason that Jarrett said that he left was because he couldn't deal with Amber anymore and he did not want to be with her. But suddenly Amber was coming to be with him, but she never showed up. We do have some information, according to the detective, that her phone supposedly last pinged in Charlotte, North Carolina. However, her Greyhound bus ticket shows that she got off a bus in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, bought a different bus ticket, but never reboarded the bus. Now, none of this makes sense to Sharon and I because we have worked on this case closely together and we can't make this make sense. Did she actually get on the bus? Are there videotapes of anyone seeing her at these bus stops? It's just a very confusing story. Why hasn't law enforcement in Bullhead City reached out to North Carolina? If we know she didn't reboard the bus in Winston and her phone pinged in Charlotte, why hasn't law enforcement been contacted in North Carolina to extend a search? It hasn't happened. We then discovered that Jarrett Ward and another gentleman that they were living homeless with here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. His name is Jarrett Leary. Jarrett Leary was sold Amber Rae's EBT food stamp card from Arizona here in South Carolina. And that food stamp card ended up in the hands of a newly released female who was incarcerated at J. Reuben Long Detention Center, and it was used at a Dollar General. And that is how, and this was after Amber Rae went missing. So if Amber wasn't here in South Carolina, and no one can put her in North Carolina, how did Amber's EBT card end up here in South Carolina when she's missing? So as we worked further on this case, I began to put out missing flyers all around Myrtle Beach. I went out and did some interviews. I went out looking for Jarrett Ward, found out that his mother lives just up the street from me. We went all the way down to Bucksport and actually spoke to a gentleman who actually knew Amber and Jarrett and was homeless with them at one time. And he remembered seeing Amber. The problem is that we are wanting law enforcement to speak to these very important people that may have information on the whereabouts of Amber Rae Johnston. However, it's been 8 long months and law enforcement hasn't interviewed anyone. To add to the unfortunate situation in this case, Social Security Disability is now investigating, as Amber's mother was very concerned if Amber's really missing and something has happened to her, her bank account needs to be looked at. So she made the correct phone calls, reached out to some people. They did an investigation. And when they looked into her bank account where her Social Security check was to be deposited, the bank account was empty. The money had been transferred into a Cash App and a PayPal that didn't belong to Amber, but it belonged to Jarrett Ward. Now, Jarrett Ward says that he doesn't have any idea where Amber might be and that he would never hurt her. But this is the same man who is also not knowing where his former girlfriend is, but is willing to steal her Social Security federal money from her bank account while she is missing. That's a crime, my friends. That is a crime that he needs to pay for. That's right, Amy. Ellie hasn't interviewed anybody. In fact, they're not doing much of anything. Hey, Mr. Gumby. How are you doing, sir? Nice to see you. Hello, little G. Thank you for being here, love. This case is it's very disturbing to me. I know a lot of people cover missing kids cases. I cover missing kids cases too. But I feel like it's very important to cover cases for these women who go missing. Their lives matter too. They are loved, regardless of if they are living in addiction. She has children. She has a mother. She is now a grandmother. And they love her. And they need to know, is she alive? If she's alive, that's all they want to know, is that she's alive and that she's somewhere safe. But you know, when they turned off her Social Security disability money, what we expected to happen was a phone call from Amber reaching out to Social Security to say, hey, I need my money turned back on because I can't eat. I can't do all of these things because I don't have my money. There hasn't been one phone call, guys, since February of 2022 when Sharon made that phone call and they turned her money off. That's disturbing. It's very, very disturbing. So that's pretty much where we are to this day. We have been making phone calls to Social Security. We have an investigator on the case. His name is Dan Lynch. We have a detective that, well, I'll let you guys make your own assessment. His name is Detective Sharpe with the Bullhead City Police Department. The FBI is supposed to be assisting. We've had multiple stories of they are assisting, they're not going to assist. Now they aren't going to assist. I mean, it's been this back and forth volleyball. I know that if my friend Sharon is going through this with her missing daughter, I can only imagine what it is like for the thousands of other families out there with a missing family member. I realize there's protocols. I realize that there is a way that investigators handle these cases, but I don't think they take these families very seriously when these people go missing. They are loved. These people are worried about their loved ones. And so we have some things that we want to share with you. So let me get over here and bring Miss Sharon up on panel with me. Here she comes back right now.
Hi.
Hello.
How you doing, Dutchie? Nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too. How have you been?
Oh, pretty good. I hanging in there, waiting for the winter. How about you?
I know. I heard that it was snowing up in Michigan and Indiana last night. Are you prepared for the weather?
Yeah, we had some ice rain today, so
Oh my goodness, I am not that's why I'm in the South, girl, because I can't handle all this snow and ice business. If y'all are in any of these areas where you're going to be getting sleet and snow, y'all stay warm out there. So, Sharon, I just kind of gave a little backstory on Amber's case. Is there anything that you want to add before we talk about the next little segment that we're going to get into?
uh no, you kind of it's just been a long haul, and I thank you for being with me and talking me through stuff. And some days are better than the others. Today, I mean, when you start talking to people again and you see how far you've got or where you're at, it's a little stressful. So
I
I'm a
know.
little teary-eyed today, but then you kind of back off sometimes, go on with your life. But the bottom line is, I feel that Amber can be found.
Yes.
I
And
feel
we believe she can be found. Y'all put some hearts and prayer hands in the chat for Miss Sharon. This has been really tough on her. And she has really been through the gamut with having to make all these phone calls and just having to continue to press in about this case. Um, but we did get a few little interesting tidbits today, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We did. I kind of backed off from calling or doing anything because sometimes you just have to let go and move on for a little bit. It's never out of your mind. But we had been planning to, start making calls and start ramping up a little bit again, and just trying to press, and maybe someone will give us something, and that's kind of, yeah, that's kind of where we were at. So we made a couple phone calls. We called Detective Lynch and just left him a message because Detective Lynch is the one that said he's going to look into the fraudulent activity of using her money, her Social Security money, while she's missing.
Uh-huh.
And then we called Detective Sharpe. I guess he just got back from a leave. And the reason being, I've been trying for 2 months now to get the report about her missing report record. And I was told I was able to get it, and now I just can't because it's an open investigation. So I called Detective Sharpe to say, how can I go about getting this? And he just got back last week and he said, well, if it's open, you can't. And I said, well, how do we close it? Or what do we do? How do we make it inactive? What do we do? And he says, well, nothing until you find her. So it's kind of like I was a little disappointed. I'd sure like to know how I can get records. I feel like if I could get some of those records, I know people will help me in the areas where we see her phone pinged, or we could check on places where the police don't have the time to do it. And so that was my call today.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Sharon has been trying to get information on Amber's case that might help people like me that are boots on the ground that can drive up and possibly go out and search, put up flyers, ask people questions, because that's what I've been doing since February. And if I have a destination that I know I need to drive to, I have wonderful subscribers to my channel that live near Charlotte and Winston that have already gone out and put up flyers, that are willing to go out there and do that. I'm willing to drive up there and put out flyers. But we need more specific information. And to just kind of bring this to where we're going with these phone calls today, Sharon had reached out previously to obtain some written information from the detective. And what happened was she had to fill out a form, correct, Sharon? And you sent it in, and
Why?
you got that information within a couple of days.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that
first
correct?
report. Yeah, I called them, and
And
they
what was that report that you had to obtain? What was that involving?
that was involving the drowning incident.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I had found out about this through her landlord where she lived in Bullhead City and at Laughlin Riverview Resorts. And she had told me, so I'm like, I got to pull this incident up because no one ever told me about it. So I called them. I found out how to do it. I called them. And I think it was 2 days. I was able to get this emailed to me, and it cost me, I think, $10.
And this incident happened just a couple of weeks before she went missing, correct?
August 8th, it happened.
August 8th, and she went missing August 19th. Okay. So, so what Sharon was thinking was, okay, so I requested to get some information. It only took a couple of days. She paid for it, whatever she had to do. She got it sent to her. So we thought, well, if we could get the details of the case, we could have maybe something more information we could go on, because Detective Sharpe wasn't returning a lot of phone calls. We weren't really getting a lot of information. And of course, he will not speak to me because I've called him multiple times. I've probably driven him crazy, but for good reason. And so we asked Sharon to try to make another phone call to see if she could get something with some information. But Detective Sharpe was out of the office, so she spoke with a different detective, Detective Correa, and he told her, along with the supervisor, that she could obtain a report about the information, and that she would have to fill out the paperwork and handle that with the records office. And apparently that is now not a thing, because she's been trying to pay for it. They keep telling her she has to wait. And this last time that she phoned before today, she was told by the records office that because it is an open and active investigation, and let's be clear, it's just a missing persons investigation. They are not investigating a crime like they should be. They still will not release the information. And I do wonder, Sharon, if you hired a private investigator, would he have any privilege to any of this information? I don't really know exactly how that works.
I would sure like to know. And I mean, sometimes it's hard to, that's out in Arizona. I'm here in PA across the country. So my thing is, they say, you really got to watch what kind of private investigator you get, because you're going to get scammed. I'm not familiar with that area, but can they? I would sure love if there's anyone in the area or someone that knows someone, maybe we could reach out and say, hey, are you privileged to this information because you've got a license? Because you're an investigator. I doubt, but I don't know. I've seen people get reports and get her phone records. Maybe they can get her messenger, Facebook stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If they could get that information, maybe I could look at these and say, hey, she wasn't here. She wouldn't buy this. Maybe we could just find and trace it to what she was.
Right. Exactly. And I agree. If they're not going to look in depth, all the information that they have, Sharon, is information that you and I and some other people have gathered and given to them.
Yeah.
It's not anything they came about on their own. All the information the investigators have is what we came up with.
Yeah. And then when they did do the subpoenas for her phone records, and I don't know if they did anything for Facebook Messenger, but she used that all the time with Jarrett. He sent me stuff that would be full of information. So if they've got those and they got the phone records, that's something I don't have. But we kept, they knew that they would be able to get that stuff, and the Greyhound bus. But a lot of the information, you're right, we gave to them. I mean, about the stealing of the money, about selling of the food stamps, about Jarrett gave me stuff himself that they wrote amongst each other, whether it was true or not. We gave him information about everything on the Facebook. Hey, she has this video, but there's no way she was there. You're showing she was never there. We know she wasn't there. How can this be justified? Look up her Facebook. Where are the IP addresses? Where is this all coming from? Right. I mean, we've given, there was the guy at at where she was staying at Laughlin Riverview Resorts. His name was Kevin. He was supposed to call me. He had information. It was her neighbor. I don't think anyone followed through with it. And unfortunately, he didn't call me back. And I was really hopeful because that was Armena, the lady that took care of the place. And it was Amber's, who she rented, the manager. And she was wonderful. And I was really hoping that, maybe the police would go out and ask the neighbors where she lived. Did they know anything? Because Jarrett was saying that she was hanging around unsafe people there, and he thinks this guy killed her or this. I mean, he always had somebody doing something to her. And I'm getting off base, but I mean, just nobody, we gave them information after information. I don't think any of it was followed up. I mean,
I just find it interesting that he said to you, I would never hurt Amber. She's the one that's crazy, kind of thing. But then he turns around while she's missing, and he doesn't have really any specific concern. But he uses her money.
Yeah. He said he called the police and reported her missing. The police in Horry County said no, he didn't. I have messages where he told her friends that as well. He told me that. At first I believed in him until I start hearing, he start giving me messages, and then it's start not adding up. And then that's when little by little we kept digging and digging and digging and found more and more.
Right. Do you want me to play one of the phone calls that we had today?
You can.
Okay, let me go over and see if we can. Now, the first phone call, I think, is where you left the Social Security investigator. And we don't have to play that one because you were simply just, leaving Dan a message to please call you back. But then we did leave a message. I think the next phone call. Let's play that one and see which one this one is. Guys, let me know make sure you can hear me. If I have an echo, let me know in the chat if there's an echo while I'm playing this.
Extension 8237. Hello? Hello? Can I help you? Yes, can I have extension 8237, please? Sure, hold on.
Investigator Korea.
Hi, Officer Korea. My name is Sharon Johnston. I had talked to you a couple months ago about my daughter's case, Rae Johnston. And you had told me you talked to your supervisor and that all my questions would be in the records and that I could request those records. So I did that, and it's been 2 months, and they won't release those records to me. And I just wondered, it's my daughter's missing, and I really would like to have the file so I could, I want the information about my daughter, and you told me your supervisor said I could get those records, and I just wondered what I can do.
Okay, so let's see. Did they give you a reason as to why they wouldn't release those to you?
They just, I requested one before, and I got it in 2 days, and you gave me this record number, I can't remember it. I think it was like 0025 or something. Every time I call, they just say I have to wait in line, and the last lady said something about it was still open.
Okay.
So I don't really know the reason. I mean, I think your supervisor would have known, that he.
Yeah.
I mean.
Let's see. 1 second. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. The primary investigator who was taking care of this, he's now back in the office. I'm gonna go ahead and have him give you a call back so he's off the phone. Is this number okay to call you back on?
Yeah, and do you have that case record number there? Because I can't seem to find it here.
Yeah. So I have it right here as 22-00520.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you so much for your help then.
Yeah, well, you said your name was Sharon, correct? And it's 724-261-1284.
Correct.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll have him give you a call just a minute, okay?
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Interesting. Interesting. That was a very interesting call. Just the officer Korea was filling in for Detective Sharpe while he has been out of the office. So that was the phone call to him. And then you made another phone call.
Yeah, I did.
You want to play? You want me to play that one too?
Sure. No, he actually called me back.
That's right. He did. He did.
Yeah.
Okay, so this phone call that we're going to play is Detective Sharpe with the Bullhead City Police Department.
Oh, hi. How you doing?
Good. I just got a message to call you. I just got back this week after medical leave. What can I do for you?
Well, I was talking with Officer Korea and his supervisor a couple months ago, and I want a copy of the case record. And they won't release it to me, and I just wondered why they won't release that to me.
Because it's still active. So they're not going to release an open investigation to you.
Okay, so if it's open and active, of someone, I mean, I don't know why your supervisor told me to get it. I just had some questions, and he said that's what they told me to do. So they told me to request a case record.
Oh, then if they told you that, then you just have to do a copy through our records.
Well, I did, and they wouldn't, and they said they wouldn't release it to me.
Okay, I don't. There's something that they know that I don't. I just know we usually don't release active investigations because they're still active. They're still
okay. So when does this become inactive? I mean, or
as soon as she's found, it's going to stay open until the day she's found.
Oh, okay. So, but nobody, so
20 years,
nobody could ever do anything with it, and I could never get my files on trying to find my daughter. Is that what you're saying? I mean, I don't think that's kind of fair.
It may not be fair, but we just don't release active investigations because people get a hold of them and start doing things that they shouldn't.
Okay, let's stop right there. They just get a hold of them and start doing things that they shouldn't. What is he implying? That we might actually go out and find your daughter, Sharon? I mean, what exactly does he think we're going to do with this information that we gave him? I just...
Maybe we're going to see the flaws that they didn't actively investigate the clues or the facts. I don't know.
I thought that was bizarre when he said that. I wanted to jump on the phone and say, "Excuse me, sir." Excuse me. Because I'm thinking in my mind, how many other families that have missing children or other family members that are missing, and the trials and the things that they have to deal with just to get answers. It's concerning. It's concerning. Let's continue on.
And get in our way that we need to, things that we may need to do. They're going to go out and either tell people that we need to, that we want to talk to or something. It's the way it is. I mean, once a case is closed and the county attorney, even criminal investigations, we don't release until the county attorney says they can be released. Okay, yeah, we're not filing charges. Yes, you can release that report. Until then, they remain part of our active cases, and we're not going to just release those to anybody.
Okay, so I can't even file like a Freedom of Information Act on that file?
Well, it's not a government document. Freedom of information is government documents. This is a criminal active investigations.
That really got me when he almost said this was a criminal investigation, and then he changed it to active investigation. So you can't get a FOIA request on information because it's not the government. I personally thought that the police department was part of the government, but maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. It's very interesting.
So if record says that they can't give it to you, they obviously know more than I do because they're the ones who keep up on all the laws pertaining to record releases, things like that.
You don't keep up with the laws, sir? You're the officer enforcing the laws. Isn't it your job to know what the laws are also? I'm just expressing my Dutchy thoughts here.
I understand your frustration, but we're not going to can't just throw out investigations and have somebody keep coming in and getting copies of reports that are open.
Okay, but if nobody's doing anything, I mean, I should have a right to see what is going on my daughter's case.
Yes.
I mean, is there anything?
I'm working with I'm going to have the FBI go out and talk to these guys and see what they can do. After that, we're done. There's nothing else we can do.
Okay.
Okay, so let's stop right here. Sharon, how many times have we been told that FBI is going to they've taken the case, then they didn't take the case? I mean, we've been back and forth with this. How many times?
Probably 5 since March of 2021.
I mean, either they are or they aren't, Detective Sharpe. Like, which is it? I don't think he even knows what's going on because I mean, you need to be firm with what you're saying. If you don't know, just say you don't know, or that it's something that we're working on. He's given Sharon false hope in the past that the FBI was going to take this case. And then when she called to check about the FBI and ask where she could reach out to someone at the FBI that was working on Amber's case, he retracted that and said, oh, the FBI is not working on this case. Now, what kind of detective would tell a mother that has a missing adult child, Sharon is taking care of Amber's children, so they want to know where their mother is? And this guy do you guys, I mean, let me know in the chat how you feel about that. What if this was your child that was missing and the detective's like, well, we don't want to give you the information because you might go out and do something like actually talk to somebody. And we're going to also tell you the FBI's taking the case, but then we're going to retract it and say, well, they're not taking the case, and then tell you that they're assisting. But wait till you hear the rest of this phone call because it gets more interesting.
Okay, well, why haven't they talked to them yet?
Well, I've talked to the FBI. I just need to ask them to formally go out and interview these guys.
After all that time.
That's my plan. I've got the case in front of me, and I will call the FBI agent and see if they can send agents out to North Carolina to go interview them. But after that, I mean, there's just nothing else we're going to be able to do with it unless one of them cracks and says something. It's just going to remain open, and if we get a hit on, Namus just sent an email out this week that starting in early 23, they're going to start accepting DNA again, and they're going to start working on the backlog cases.
And just to let you guys know real quick, Sharon and Amber's children have already given their DNA to Namus. It was collected by the Pennsylvania State Police. And Sharon, when was that?
Oh my, maybe 4 or 5 months ago.
And
I was pushing from January on, and they finally sent somebody out. It's sitting at the Bullhead City case files.
Yes, that was about, it's been close to 5 months.
I'd say,
And, yeah. And it's still sitting there, guys. The DNA is sitting there unprocessed. There are unidentified bodies in Arizona that we would like to have this DNA tested against to see if it's a match. But Namus is out of funding. And we found out after making several phone calls to Namus that if Namus is out of funding once the DNA is collected, then it falls to the police department to pay for the DNA testing. And you can obviously see that the police department is not interested in participating in that. And it's very, very disappointing because you have a mother who has gone through all the steps that she is supposed to and cannot get someone to just simply put the DNA into CODIS so it will be on file in case there are remains. It's just disgusting. I'm going to continue to play this call.
The DNA we have sitting here will be sent to them, and they can start trying to track that through any coroner's offices, things like that. So, unfortunately, COVID kind of put things on a hiatus. But they'll start doing DNA again, and the only way we're going to be able to find anything is if she pops up somewhere and says, I'm so-and-so, or they find bones somewhere that match DNA. But we just got nowhere else to go with this.
Okay, can you tell me specifically where her phone was last pinged?
I'm sorry, hear what?
Her phone, when you told me her phone was last pinged in Charlotte, do you know like a location in Charlotte? Like a
I'd have to go back through it's been a while, it's been a few months. I'd have to go back and find out. But her phone pinged here, and his phone pinged in South Carolina the week she supposedly went missing. I do know that one. But I want to say her phone pinged in Flagstaff, which we do know she made it to Flagstaff on a bus, supposedly.
Now, he did tell us that they did verify that she was in Flagstaff because of one of the phone pings. But it's interesting how he said he has the case file right in front of him, but he can't open it to look to see that he told you that her last phone ping was in Charlotte. However, he distinctly remembered off the cuff that Jarrett's phone pinged in South Carolina the week that she went missing. I'm just...
So I'd have to go back and look at the phone records again. I haven't kept up on the case. I just got back this week.
Okay, yeah, because I just wondered, if she supposedly got that bus to Winston, and it was my understanding, I mean, I know you don't recall, and that's okay, that her phone last pinged in Charlotte. And so I was just curious, where her phone really did ping and maybe like a better location. I mean, that would help me. And then maybe you could let me know when you talk to the FBI.
Yeah, I'll call the FBI as soon as we're done here and see if they'll take an attempt to find these guys and interview them. I don't know what they're going to want. I've got an entire case file sitting in front of me specifically made for the FBI. I just made 2 identical copies, one for the FBI, one for us. So if I meet with them and they can take the book and read through it, see what they think, and take a stab at these 2 Jareds and what's her name, Tatiana.
Yeah, I think
any of them.
I think my big thing is, he sold her food stamp cards from Arizona. I mean, that's fraud. He used all her money. If she's not around, she didn't give him that. I mean, isn't that something for the FBI? Well, then, you know what? That's why she should have been.
That's the problem. That she's not here to say, well, I didn't give that to them.
If she's not here to say that she didn't give him permission.
I know that.
And my question is, okay, then if she did give him permission, then he has information, and nobody's ever questioned him.
He was questioned as soon as you reported this.
He was questioned for about 1 minute, but that's before we found out that he used all her money and everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fraud.
Well, unfortunately, prosecutors want somebody to come forward and go, I didn't give them permission to use my card. Obviously, he had her.
Well,
she's missing. She can't come forward. What if she's deceased? You're just going to let it go? That's a felony if you steal somebody's money over $1,000. That's 5 years in jail plus. And they have not been out here to put this guy into a police station room to speak with him. They talked to him on the phone for less than 5 minutes, and that was it. And Jarrett Ward says he will not go in to speak to the police without an attorney. And I said, guilty people don't need an attorney. You don't have anything to hide, do you, Jarrett? You should be willing to go down there and say, I'm concerned that she didn't show up here in Myrtle Beach. We need to do whatever it takes to find her. But that's not the response that we got, is it, Sharon?
Oh, no, not at all.
We're not going to stop. We are going to find Rae Johnston, with or without the police. We're not going to give up on this case just because this guy is not interested, clearly.
So, I mean, that's...
I know, but
she's not here to say that she didn't. So
I know, but
that's the attorney. I go, she let him use the cards. That's why he had it.
That is not necessarily why he had it. We have messages before she went missing that he had stolen a previous EBT card and had stolen her phone and was getting information. And she had expressively told her mother, I think that Jarrett is stealing my money. You know, we sent the detective all of these messages before she went missing that Amber had corresponded with her mother. And he has not even taken that into consideration at all.
A month before, she wrote, if anything happens to me, Jarrett did it, Mom.
Yes.
And she goes, and I know that I know, but I don't think he'll do anything to me because he knows you'll pursue it and you'll make sure that he gets caught. That was kind of what she said. And she said, I think he's stealing off me and I got to find out. And, you know, I kicked him out and he won't leave. Oh, yeah. I mean, it was bad. It was weird because Jarrett said one thing to me. It just makes me wonder, did something happen out there? Did she ever get on a bus? He said, when he finally talked to me after you posted the flyers before I came to Myrtle Beach, when he finally made that one call, he goes, we were talking, he got agitated. He goes, she left me out to die in the desert. And it was like here we are talking about his girlfriend that he's supposed to love and he missed, and he's worried sick about it, and he's talking about what she did to him. What happened? Where were you at in the desert? Did something happen? Who knows?
Hey, Perpetual.
He's getting defensive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree. And I just feel like the way that he speaks to you is very disrespectful.
Oh, yeah.
And it's very concerning. He talks over you. He interrupts you. He wants to have his say, but she's not here to say that whether she gave permission or not. Well, that should be taken into consideration, sir, because that's the big concern is her money's been taken and she is missing. And I don't understand why that doesn't, send up a red flag. That's exactly what that says to me. Huge red flag. Huge red flag. Very condescending, Amy. Yes, he is very condescending. It is disrespectful, Lisa. No heart, says Coco Chanel. Thank you for being here, Coco. I was so disgusted on this call. Let's continue.
Well, I'm going to say if someone would have contacted him, he would have never said that. But nobody's ever made an attempt to do it. And that's the really sad part.
As soon as you made the report.
But nobody ever knew that he had used her money. Nobody ever knew that he sold her food stamp card. Jarrett Leary admitted that he sold the food stamp card to him and Amber didn't know. I mean, that's in itself reasoning to question these people. And nobody's ever did it. And I really thought that the FBI or working with SSI, we talked so many times, I really thought that someone would make an effort. My daughter's not around. There's no doubt in my mind. And I mean,
Gosh. Oh my gosh. Did you hear that? Well, you didn't report her for 6 months. Sharon, what are your thoughts on that?
Well,
it's not 6 months.
No, she was missing around the end of August, which I didn't even know she was missing. She had gotten to an argument with me, which I don't even know if I got into an argument with her. I don't even know if it was her. If it was, it was. And I told her she needed to go get help. Honestly, Jarrett in October told me, because when he went to jail in September, and I'm like, she's hanging with his parents. That's what I figured. She went down to Myrtle Beach. She's hanging with his mom. And so when he got out of jail, I had contacted him. That was in October.
Yes.
And he goes, no, I don't know where she's at. He has said that she might have went to Needles, California to this rehab because she had posted a picture of a rehab and she said she was in rehab. And he said, I checked all the jails and I don't see her in jail and da-da-da. And I said, okay. So in between October 20th, my mom passed away. And I start searching for her because she has left for like 3 months at a time and that I didn't know, but not recently. This was when she first took off to Myrtle back in 2013, 14. And, but I could always find her, so I kept searching for her online, searching for her, and I start talking to him again. And then I start getting nervous and I'm like, I can't find her. I kept looking at her videos. None of her videos online made sense. She was posting public. She never posts public. She was writing weird things to people because I start writing. So I put out a flyer on my own and I asked Jarrett to put it out. And I think he put it out somewhere. I don't really remember, but because I asked him to. This is when I didn't think there was anything happening, and I figured he'd call her. And 3 months went by and got worried. So it was about 4 months when I contacted the police. And you got to understand, the police aren't my back door. I don't exactly know where she's at. He told me she was down there. I didn't even know really where to call. I mean, and I mean, she's been gone from Pennsylvania in my area for 8 years. We've basically had phone calls, except when she left Jarrett in 2020 and came back here. And, you know, we got along, and she snuck off and went back with him and didn't tell us. I mean, the girls were starting to see her. And then she went with him, and then she didn't call us anymore until I seen her on one of his videos at an ocean. And I wrote to Jarrett, and I said, hey, you got to have Amber call me because I'm going to report her missing there. And that's when she started making contact again. But things never were the same. Everything was all weird stuff from that point on, and within a year until she went missing. So no, I didn't call right away. But I didn't think that this was the outcome. I didn't think that she was missing and in danger. You know,
Right.
I didn't. And I was searching for her. So, you know,
Yeah.
at this point, I don't really even know. I mean, she wrote on there that she was on a bus and, you know, coming home to Pittsburgh. I thought she would be coming here. It's just the way that things happen. But it wasn't 6 months. And who cares if it was 6 months? It doesn't mean you don't follow up on the leads and do stuff just because maybe you couldn't have stopped anyone from killing her, which I don't think it would have happened anyway, or you couldn't stop anyone from trafficking her or a death. Who knows? It doesn't really matter. It is what it is. You still have to follow up on the leads, right?
That's right.
It's not anybody's fault.
Let's hear the rest of this phone call, and then you guys can hear how this plays out, because I think it is very important for these subscribers here to hear how some of these cases and how parents and people that are treated when they're calling to get information about their loved ones. Hey, Sugar Magnolia. Because this really tore me up, and I just feel like it's important for people to they wouldn't believe it if they didn't hear it for themselves, Sharon. So I'm going to go ahead and play the rest of this.
Like she
The end of August, September, October. Yeah, it was December.
Yeah,
But it's not my.
January 4th.
Actually, it was in December. But that's not my fault. That doesn't mean this is.
But we're 6 months behind the curve. You know, it wasn't 3 days. There's really no fresh trail to go on. So
It was 4 months: September, October, November, and December. And it was 4 months. And I assumed she was with him, but he was in jail. And it wasn't. I understand.
August, missing in August.
In August, the end of August. Yeah.
Okay, so
September, October, November, December.
Reported her missing January 6th.
Okay,
So
if I look.
6 months behind. We didn't start fresh. We're starting way behind. Anything that would have been out there was gone. So, I mean, we're doing the best we can, but we're 6 months behind anything. Any video that's out there would have been gone. Most places
we
don't
talked
see video more than 30 days.
I know we
so
talked about this
we're
in March.
Exactly.
We got someone using her food stamp card that wasn't her
I
in
understand.
March. I
That's
mean,
fine.
we did get video. We could have got other video. I'm just saying, you can't blame me because it wasn't 6 months.
I'm not blaming anybody.
And
There wasn't enough done, but we're 6 months behind the curve.
well, what I'm trying to say is, you know, a lot of times I heard that they were bringing them in, and this was over 6 months ago. I remember exactly where I was sitting. You said we're all working together to bring these people in because they've used their money, they used her cards, they used everything. And I had to go back to her.
Security, and they said it doesn't meet their criteria.
See, that's not what Dan told me.
Who?
That's not what the fraud is. That's not what the investment. That's not what that Dan Lynch told me.
Really? Because Social Security said it's just not meeting their criteria. Not to mention, I don't think it was it Social Security card or was it her Arizona food stamp card?
It was both. They were both. Her Arizona food stamp card was sold, and they admitted it.
If that was the case, then why didn't Dan Lynch?
Dan Lynch was for Social Security.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, when I spoke to him, he was like, "Well, not quite
appreciate if you would at least give them the case and see if they could at least talk to these individuals.
I'll call Dan Lynch. I think I got a better chance with Dan Lynch because there is Social Security money as opposed to the FBI. The only thing they were going to do is just give us some resources.
Yeah, well, you told me that maybe that if you give the FBI, that the FBI would question them.
Yeah, they would question them. But if
I would
you
like
Dan
maybe
Lynch or Social Security investigators to do it, it's the same thing.
yeah,
And they have a little more leeway because it's actually Social Security money. I don't know if the FBI would even worry about Social Security money, but I don't know what they're.
well, maybe when since you have the report, maybe when you talk to the FBI, maybe you can let me know what they say. And they're
I think I got a better chance with Lynch. And see if, because it is Social Security money, they have all the records of it, where the FBI is not going to have it. So let me try Dan Lynch, and I'll get back with you.
Okay, then just let me know. And then I just, what kind of investigation is it? Is it just a missing person?
It's a missing person.
Okay, so it's not so that's kind of why I didn't see why I couldn't get the record. If it's just a missing person, it's not an investigation into a crime, right? It's just a missing person.
Yeah, we haven't proved a crime. It's a missing person.
Right. Okay, and so then I don't have access to those records from my daughter then, right? Is that what you're saying?
You have, like I said, you'll have to have records. I don't know what their parameters are. If they said you can't get a copy of it, then you can't get a copy of it. So they're the ones that release records. I don't have anything to do with it.
Okay, and I would appreciate, if you could give the files not only with Dan Lynch, with the FBI, since they said they would assist, and maybe
I'll
they
see
can
if
help
Lynch
and
will
assist.
send investigators out there to go contact these people, since it is Social Security money. See what they say. I'll contact the FBI.
And what division was the FBI, the one that was assistant in Phoenix, or the one that you said was assistant? Havasu, okay. Okay, and so, when you find out something, I appreciate you giving me a call back.
I will do that.
Okay, thanks.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Such an interesting conversation. Salty C, make sure you send me a friend request on Discord, and I will send you a Discord link to my Discord. Amy, I don't know if they are utilizing those FBI resources because, we did wait for a call back, and we did get a call back. And basically he only told us that FBI is only willing to offer resources. So once again, he's like, I've got this whole folder made up for the FBI because they're going to want to go and interview Jarrett and blah, blah, blah. And then he just switches again. Yeah, Amy, this guy is impossible. And this is an ongoing thing. Can you imagine what other people have to go up against when they're looking for a missing loved one?
Some people don't even get any calls back.
Yeah.
I've listened to a lot of stories like mine, and they're all the same. And it's just really, really, really sad. The worst part is she's trackable. She had resources. She was living somewhere. She had money coming in. She had food stamps. She had phone. There's trackable information there to go to certain areas, and there always has been. And they just don't really want to utilize it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe call me. Hey, do you think this sounds, just maybe look at it. Have a good investigator take down and say, look, and do the footprint and do the thinking, do the investigating on it. Why would nobody ever go to her apartment and talk to them out there? I had to learn from her apartment manager about the drowning incident that happened. And she said how bizarre it was and none of it made sense. The landlord there told me that she didn't. I said, was Amber using like a lot? Did she seem to appear to be using a lot of drugs? Officer Sharpe says there's a ton of drugs there, a ton of meth. He's not, that's bad. The landlord said that when she would see Amber, she really didn't know. So was she really that bad? I don't know. I mean, I know she wasn't acting quite right, but the landlord didn't seem to think that she was all out of whack. And, maybe those are things that should have been asked, Jared said some guy, Mustafa, did something to her, that he was a bad drug lord. She owed him money. He gave me all kind of stupid, crazy things, that she probably got trafficked, that she met up bad with someone in Charlotte, that she lost her way. I either said that his friends killed her when she got to South Carolina while he was working. There were so many different stories that he gave
Yeah,
on
and how can someone who's at first said,
ludicrous.
I have no idea what happened, come up with 14 different reasons about what he thinks happened?
He was going to kill his friends, Jarrett Leary and Tatiana. He was going to kill them because they killed her, and he knows it. Just crazy thing. I mean, he blamed everybody but himself. Well, he has a 7-minute conversation with her the day before everything shut down with her. Okay, at least it was on her phone. He showed it to me. What did you talk about? Where was she? I never got answers on anything. I did hear how she left him in the desert to die, on that call, but I never heard, hey, let's figure out where she's at. And then when I got to South Carolina, I heard, oh, I'm coming with you. I'm going to help you at the police. We're going to, we'll give them all the information. We'll give them the phone records. And I was foolish. I believed him. And then I finally realized how stupid, foolish I was, because when it would come down, I was picking him up 40 minutes away. I was getting him there. And he said, oh, I can't do it without an attorney. This is a really serious matter. I'm really sorry. I just don't trust the police. Yeah, whatever.
Well, that's because
And he was sending me the messages that she wrote.
Yeah.
That who knows if they were even her. None of it made sense. None of it.
He doesn't make sense. He talks in circles, and for somebody to not know any information, he sure offered up a lot of suggestions to what he thinks happened. Why didn't he just say that off the cuff?
Yeah, why don't he just give it up? You stole her money. Forget that. Let's just.
That's why he
go
doesn't
on.
want to talk to the police, because they'll find out what he actually was involved in, and he's got a criminal record.
Yeah, but let's forget that, buddy. We know what you did. Now let's tell us, what were your conversations? Where is she? Let's find her. That's, if you're afraid to go because you ripped her off and you committed fraud, okay, whatever. Let's forget that. Let's find Amber. If that's the reason, you're just going to say that that's why you don't want to go to the police, which I don't understand that, because obviously,
right,
as Mr. Sharpe said, the police really don't care too much, do they? About that.
I think everyone in this chat right now has a clear understanding about how Detective Sharpe feels about working missing cases. Because if he talks to you this way, I can only imagine how he's treating other people on missing cases. He's very rude and dismissive, and it's like a power play. He reminds me of another detective that actually is, well, he's a former detective, and many people in this chat know him. He has a YouTube channel. I don't really personally care for all of the things that he does, but he reminds me a lot of that guy. Yes, Amy, he probably does need to be reassigned. He probably needs to retire, in my personal opinion. But what I find really interesting is that when Detective Sharpe went on leave after he had given Sharon all of this false hope that the FBI was going to get on board, with all of this stuff, and then that fell through. He never called her. Then all of a sudden the FBI wasn't going to take the case. They would be willing to assist, which is apparently just offer resources. You don't ever tell the parent of a missing child, even if they're an adult, You would never tell a family member that the FBI is going to be on the case if they are not, in fact, going to be on the case. That was a no-no. That was a no-no. If it's something that is, we know that the police lie to suspects in order to get them to give a response when they're interrogating them. This is not an interrogation. He has responsibility to be respectful and to be honest and transparent with the families of missing people, and to just tell them things and get their hopes up and then turn right around and it not be true is extremely disappointing. And I just ask myself often when I look at other cases that I'm covering, Sharon, and dealing with law enforcement, it makes me wonder what they're doing too. And I know people in my chat know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Ronnie Lawson and the Summer Wells case. There's other law enforcement agencies that I'm not very sure. No, just because they're telling you on a clip on the news or via telephone that they're doing everything they can and it's their priority to do such and such. I'm just not seeing any of the priorities. And you saw how he spoke to Miss Sharon. It's disgusting. I would have not been so kind on a phone call like that if it had been me, Sharon. And I applaud you for being able to maintain the level of calmness that you did during those phone calls, because I don't know that I would have been able to do that. You're a strong woman, and I admire you so much. And we are not going to give up on looking for Amber. We're going to do whatever it takes. We will keep putting out posters. We will keep making videos. We'll keep making phone calls. We'll keep sending emails. Hopefully, Dan Lynch with Social Security investigations will be able to coordinate something with here in Horry County, South Carolina, and maybe get Jarrett Leary and Jarrett Ward into an investigation room and be able to question them, because it's time to put some pressure. It's time to put some pressure on these people who knew Amber very well, and Jarrett was one of the last people to see her.
And talk to her.
Yes, it's just such an odd situation that wouldn't be one of the immediate things they would do. I don't care if he's like, oh, it's been 4 months, it's been 6 months, and we're 6 months behind on this case. You've had all of this time since February to find out where Jarrett Ward is and have someone to bring him into the police station and question him about all of these things. And it has not happened. And I want to know why.
And Jared, if you're out there, send something anonymous. Just if you know where my daughter is, or if you know of someone that may have hurt her, send it anonymously so that we can go find her. You don't have to be involved. Just let us find her. Let her kids know where she's at. Let us know. You're the last
mother and her kids deserve to know that, Jarrett. I mean, it's the least you could do. Have a heart. Your mother would want to know if something happened to you. Would you want your mother having to run around and do all of this because somebody just didn't want to say any information that might give some type of insight as to what may have happened?
I just really want to know what that 7-minute call was. That's the last time anybody ever heard from her. 7 minutes is a long time to talk to someone, to not know where they're at, what they're going to do, where they're going to be, what happened in that call. Was it an angry call, a good call? He had it. He has to know. And what changed her mind from buying a ticket to go to Pittsburgh to being in Charlotte, which she had money. How would she get to Charlotte? She had a ticket to Pittsburgh. Well,
Yeah, she bought that
she didn't
ticket.
get a bus and hop to Charlotte. How
We
did
don't
her
know
get
where
there?
the original bus ticket, that's something that we need to find out. Where was the original bus ticket supposed to be going to? Because she went all the way up to Pennsylvania, or Ohio, rather, wasn't it Ohio? And then came back down into North Carolina. And then that Facebook video of her on a bus, we never saw her, never saw her face, never heard her voice. But while just what it was it the day after she left to go on this bus trip, there's this anonymous video of her at night. And of course, I tracked all the road signs, and it ends up that was in Birmingham, Alabama. Guess what, guys? The bus ticket she had did not go through Birmingham, Alabama. Yet
And
this video was on her Facebook page. And I believe this was a previous video from a previous bus trip that Jarrett Ward might have taken. And he could have been the one that posted that on her Facebook page to make it look like she was. Because if you go from Las Vegas to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, you go through Birmingham, Alabama. If you leave from, because remember, we looked this up, Sharon.
oh
If
yeah,
you leave from Bullhead City, Arizona to go to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, it does not take you anywhere through Alabama. It is two different bus routes.
another thing is though, Officer Sharpe knows she never got on and got off a bus in Alabama. Never.
That's right. That's correct.
So we
you
don't.
know,
We're not
that
even
whole video
assuming.
is like, what was the purpose of that video being on there? I don't think Amber put that on there.
Well, there was nowhere. That video is on there. There is nowhere was she anywhere around Alabama, and they know that. That we're not guessing on her bus route.
We
That's
are
a
not
fact.
guessing. Yeah,
That's
we
a
have
fact.
vetted all of that information and clarified it with the detective, and he confirmed. So,
Because someone had access to her Facebook, and that's why I believe almost all those videos that were public, she never posted public. None of that makes any sense either. So it was just, and a couple of her friends brought that out to me, and one of my cousins. So it's just very, very, very bizarre.
I think so too.
Someone out there knows what happened. Say something anonymous, do something, just help us find her and bring her home.
Yes, please. Anyone that knows anything, please let us know. I'm going to actually share my screen right now because I want to be able to share her missing poster. This is Amber Rae Johnston. Also in this picture is Jarrett Ward with her, where it says NamUs case missing person 89959. Amber Rae has been missing since August the 19th of 2021. She is now 37 years old. At the time she went missing, she was 36. She is a white female with blonde hair and blue eyes. She is approximately 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighs around 160 pounds. She'd never reboarded her bus in Winston Salem, North Carolina after she bought a ticket to Pennsylvania. Her last phone ping was known to be in Charlotte, North Carolina. Jarrett says that he thought she had used his EBT card at a Flying J on Statesville Road, which is a truck stop. However, I had one of my subscribers to go out to the Flying J truck stop, and there are no drink machines. He said she bought a drink. There are no drink machines there at the Flying J, and none of those drink machines accept EBT cards. There's been no social media activity or contact since August the 19th. And of course, Jarrett Ward, her former boyfriend, said that she was going to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, but never arrived. Now, you can find this missing poster on my Facebook page. It's also shared on my Twitter. And I appreciate every one of you. If you could please share this out on your social media, we would be so grateful. If you know anyone that lives in Arizona that would be able to possibly print off a flyer and post them up, I would be so grateful. You can My mods can drop my email. It is Dutchess number 4 the missing at gmail.com. You can reach out to me there. And I'm also on Facebook. Please send me a message on Facebook Messenger. I try to speak with as many people as I can because I'm all about sharing missing posters. I make free missing posters for anyone who needs a free missing poster. You can reach out to me if you need a missing poster made. If you have a missing family member or know someone that needs a missing poster made, I will make one free of charge and send it to them. So please, please, please reach out to me and let me know. I did see Chasing Justice in the chat. That is another one of my wonderful moderators and subscribers that lives near Charlotte, and she is going to let me know when she's going to be in that area, and she can, help us, Sharon. We're just going to have to keep searching and not give up.
Well, thank you so much. And I'm going
You
to
are very welcome.
thank you to all your listeners and for all the flyers and the help. And yeah, it's so hard. I mean, she could be anywhere. Arizona, Flagstaff area, Charlotte, South Carolina. It's really just, I'd sure love to have that record.
Yeah.
But I just pray. Thank you guys all. And
thank you, Sharon, for coming and speaking to us. And we will make sure to have another live stream as soon as we find out some more information. And of course, anytime that you want to come and speak to us about Amber's case, you are always welcome.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Dutchie. Love you.
You're welcome. Love you too. All right. Bye-bye, Sharon.
Bye.
Okay, guys. So, any thoughts? Any thoughts about this case? Thank you. Thank you, Level-Headed. It's slow and sure wins the race sometimes. And unfortunately, things don't always happen in the time frame that we see that in our minds. But we have to stay positive, and we have to just pray about it. We have to continue to think into the future about the things that we can do to continue to shed a light on this case. Thank you, Lisa54. I really do appreciate that so very much. I appreciate your prayers and positive thoughts for Sharon. She needs them. Amber's children needs them. The target points really need to be in Arizona. I would also say another target point may be Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas is only 90 miles northeast of Bullhead City. But Jarrett Ward took a bus to Las Vegas when he left Bullhead City, and then took a bus from Las Vegas home to Myrtle Beach. So it makes me wonder. I just have a lot of questions. Could she be in Las Vegas? Could she be in Arizona? That bus trip says that she went all the way up through Ohio and back down through Kentucky, Tennessee, into North Carolina, and then got off the bus at 8 o'clock in the morning and bought another bus ticket and then never got back on the bus. So it just doesn't make any sense. Thank you, Sugar Magnolia. I appreciate that so very much. Thank you, Amy. So really there in North Carolina, Winston Salem and Charlotte, which I've had some wonderful subscribers, Ray Law and Elizabeth Lander, to go out and hang up some flyers around that area where the Flying J truck stop is in Charlotte, around the Greyhound bus station in Winston-Salem. Her former boyfriend, Chase Cook, that she used to live here with in Myrtle Beach. He is actually in North Carolina, but Chase, unfortunately, has suffered some very terrible consequences from his drug use, and he suffered a traumatic brain injury and stroke. He's he's very young still. He's still in his 30s, and he lives in an assisted living facility. So, and he's very worried about Amber. He's so concerned that something bad has happened to her, and he said, if I could get out of this chair and be able to leave here to go look for her, I would. And the first place that I would go is I would go find Jarrett Ward, because I think he knows something. And he said we've talked on Messenger quite a lot, because he sees when I put out my videos and when I share her flyer, and he always comments, and he says, I just wish I would hear from Amber. Her children miss her so very much, and they just want to know if she's alive, if she's okay. Like, if they just knew that she was out there somewhere and she was okay, they feel like it may not be what they want, but they would be satisfied with just knowing that, okay, my mom's okay. They deserve that. And now Amber is a grandmother. Y'all, she is a grandmother, and she doesn't even know that she is a grandmother. Hey, Dragon, thank you for being here. So I just ask for you, please, to continue to lift Sharon and Amber's children up and her grandchild in your prayers. And we will continue to put out these flyers. I will make sure when I end this live that I will go back and reshare her flyer on Twitter, and I will reshare it on my Facebook so it won't be so far down. And if you have Facebook or Twitter and you're willing to reshare that on your social media platform, I would be so grateful. There is a Missing Amber Rae Johnston Facebook page that Sharon has started once we got to working on this case. And I see that Lily Rochelle has just dropped that. Thank you, Lily, for dropping all of these wonderful links for me, baby. You're amazing. Please go over there and like that page, and you can follow any updates and everything that Sharon posts on there on this Facebook page about Amber Rae Johnston. I see Sharon's just posted something. She says, someone said she thought she saw Amber in September or October of 2021 in Cortez, Colorado. Very interesting. Where is Cortez, Colorado? And I have to map it. Cortez, Colorado. Wow, that is out in the middle of nothing. That's near Durango. I have a friend that does cave diving for a living. That's his business, is cave diving in Durango. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but that is actually near the Four Corners. If you guys know anything about that, that's where Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico all meet at the Four Corners. It's just within that corner, you'll find the town Cortez in that corner of Colorado. And what an odd place to be. Her bus route certainly didn't take her through Colorado. So that is very interesting, Sharon. Let me know if you find out any more information on that. We may need to get some posters out in Colorado. If anyone lives in North Carolina, I'm in South Carolina, but if anyone else lives in South Carolina, she also was on the bus apparently in Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Texas. The bus went from Arizona all the way through New Mexico, crossed the top of Texas, went up through parts of Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, and then came back down from Ohio into Kentucky, Tennessee, and into North Carolina, and that's where the bus route ended. Hi, Leaf Lover Liz. Thank you for being here. Salty, don't forget to send me a Discord friend request so I can send you a Discord link. So you're up by Lake Marion, Leaf Lover. Hadn't been out that way in a while. But it's nice out there. Hey, CP Cosplay. Thank you so much for being here. Sharon says she said it looked exactly like her. Any lead or possible lead is exposure. She made flyers and passed out that. She said the girl asked for a ride to Grand Junction. Wow. That is interesting. Well, and that's great that she put out flyers because you just never know where somebody might be. We've got to get these flyers in front of people who haven't seen them. If you guys are members on Facebook in these missing groups, please take Amber's flyer and post it. Y'all, I'm only one person. I know I can't be Deets on the streets and Dutchess and whoever else y'all think I am. I mean, I've just got a lot on my plate right now. So anything you can do to help out in sharing these flyers, it would mean so much to me. Golf cart country. Yes, it is. Well, I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and this is definitely golf cart country down here too. It's a beautiful place up there. She was pointing at Albuquerque, New Mexico. That is interesting. Well, I mean, if you're looking at Cortez, Colorado on the map, I mean, you know, that's right in the Four Corners, and Albuquerque would be kind of southeast of Cortez. We love you, Sharon, and we're going to continue to pray. We're going to continue to do what we can to share out this information and bring Amber Rae home. Please tell the kids that we love them and that we're thinking of them. And if there's anything that we can do, just reach out. You've got my number. You know how to reach me. We talk all the time. If there's anything that we can do, you just let us know and we will try to make it happen. Thank you, Sugar Magnolia, for sharing that. Well, guys, this is all that I have for this evening. I just wanted to have a live stream that focused on Amber Rae Johnston. This is one of the very first cases that I took on, and I will continue to work this case. Hello, LaBamba. Thank you for being here. Until we get some results. But we wanted you to hear firsthand how law enforcement is handling this case. I felt that it was going to be the most effective for people to actually hear how a missing person's family member is treated when they're trying to get information that can help find their missing family member. It's very disappointing to me. And it really, after that phone call was over, I had to go outside and take a breath because I could feel my blood pressure going up. Missing people deserve justice. They deserve to come home. It doesn't matter how old they are, how rich or poor they are, what color they are, how they went missing, if they are on drugs, if they have a mental health crisis. None of that matters. Their families love them, and they want to know where they are and if they are safe. No one should be disrespected by the people that we pay to do the job to help find missing family members. No one. I'm thoroughly, thoroughly disappointed with Bullhead City Police Department. And I will be sending an email again. Not that they've responded to any of my other emails, which is perfectly fine. I will just continue to pound them with emails about how I am very dissatisfied in the treatment of this case. I guess they think, well, she's an addict. She doesn't matter. She was homeless. She didn't matter. No, she matters. She matters to Sharon, and she matters to her children. So therefore, she matters to me. She matters to the people in this chat, sir. And that's what Dutchess Discussions is about. We offer a place, a safe place, for the family of missing people to come and tell their stories. And they will be shown respect and dignity. Because what they are going through is no one can ever imagine. The heartbreak and the pain that they have dealing with things as their missing family member is still out there. They're having to get argumentative with law enforcement because they aren't doing their job. Yes, Autumn Hayes, thank you, lovely. I'm so glad to see you. She matters, and her family deserves respect, period. Jarrett Ward, my advice to you is before they decide to come out and bring you in for questioning, is that you should just go give a statement. You should just go tell the truth. Because you might find yourself back behind bars if you don't do the right thing. Because you haven't done the right thing so far. Let's be clear. The way that this has been handled by you, the boyfriend. Hey, Crystal, don't worry about it, baby. Glad that you're here. You know, when I went down to the Myrtle Beach Police Department to speak to them about talking to Jarrett, and they told me that Jarrett did not call them, they were not interested in even taking a flyer that I made for Amber. It's a true story. They were so ugly to me because I wasn't a family member. I said, I'm an advocate for missing people and their families. I make flyers. I've been in this community, well, since my parents had a house here, since I was a kid. I said, I've been doing this in this community for years This is the first time I've ever taken a missing persons flyer to the police department, and you won't take it. Explain that to me. Do you know how many police departments I have given Amber Rae Johnston's flyer to? I've given it to the Horry County Sheriff's Department. I've actually pulled up, which is on video, and spoke with officers at a gas station and told them about this case. And they asked me to give them flyers and all of the names and information, and they would go and post it. And you know what? They did. I've given it to the North Myrtle Beach Police Department. I've given it to the Surfside Beach Police Department. Myrtle Beach? Nah, they don't care. But hopefully, we're going to pray that Detective Sharpe makes that phone call to Dan at Social Security Disability, because he's an investigator. And hopefully they are going to come down here and they are going to interview these key people in this case, and they're going to do their job and they're going to get some answers. It is. Hey, Nico, I'm so glad to see you here. Yes, it's infuriating. It really is. I appreciate you guys all joining me this evening to hear the update. If you're not familiar with this case, or if you feel like you want to go back and catch up on all things, I do have some short videos under my Amber Rae Johnston playlist. There are some live streams on there that are kind of long, but I do have some short videos that kind of summarize this case. It talks about the main players. You can actually see the video of her that's posted on her Facebook of the bus trip on the Greyhound that goes through Birmingham, Alabama, which we know that she didn't. Autumn Hayes, thank you so much, baby, for becoming a member. Yay, I am so happy. Thank you. I love my little dancing guy. I just do. I just love it so much. Thank you, Autumn Hayes. I love you, baby. Hey, Betty Joe, where have you been, child? Where have you been? I have not seen you around these YouTube streets. You best be behaving, young lady. Crystal, it's a tough case. It really is, and you're going to be mad. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I love you too, Autumn. Thank you so much, darling. But if you want to get caught up on some of the stuff, or you need to revisit in your mind all of these things, I have some short videos over there. One on the bus trip, so that you guys can take a look at that and you can see how I break it down and figure out exactly where the bus trip is and how we vet that information. And when I sent that to the detective, that's when he pulled the phone records and was able to clarify that her phone never pinged there and that the bus ticket never went through Alabama. There's also some videos on there where I have went out to where Jarrett Ward's family lives, and I've hung up posters and they've tore them down, and I've hung up more posters and they've tore them down, and I will continue to hang up more posters on the corner of their street as long as it takes. As long as it takes. I know you've been busy with your granddaughter, Betty Joe. Give her a hug for me. So those videos to me are very critical. We just kind of look at a lot of details. There's an interview on there with Cashon, and he is a guy that is homeless in Bucksport, South Carolina, and he knows Jarrett and Amber. And there's a really great clip of some information that we got from him. And we went and posted up flyers down there, which is about an hour and 30 minutes south of me. So please go over to the playlist and take a look at some of those videos. We have some wonderful subscribers. Rae Law, Elizabeth Lander have gone out to Winston and Charlotte. They have gotten me some great video footage and vetted the information. You know, that Jarrett says that Amber used his EBT card at the Flying J in a drink machine. Guess what, guys? There is no drink machines at the Flying J, and there's no drink machines, of course, that take an EBT card. So make that make sense. He says that she used it in a drink machine. So, you know, all of these little details that we have been able to come up with are very, very important in this case. So if you have the time, one day, you know, when you have a little bit of free time, some of these videos are not very long. If you have time, you know, take a look at some of those videos. And if you have any feedback, you know, the next time that I'm live, you know, send me an email, or you can just, you know, tell me your thoughts, because I always want to hear your thoughts. Because you guys are like investigators in my chat. I know you guys see all the little things. Many eyes on a case. Sometimes you guys might pick up on things that some people might miss. That's why the team effort is so great. Thank you, Lisa54. And I really appreciate all of you guys being here to hear about Amber Rae's case, and just giving your time while Sharon, you know, talked about her story. And it's just so very important that she has support right now. Again, she has raised Amber's children. 2 of Amber's children are in foster care, but the 2 oldest, I don't think, live with Sharon. And of course, Amber is a grandmother now. But the 2 youngest, Sharon is still raising and taking care of. And they miss their mother. When I see her children get upset because they don't know where their mother is, it breaks my heart. Because no matter what mistakes a parent makes, their children still love them. They love her unconditionally. They want her to get help. We want Amber to get help. But now we don't even know where she is. And they deserve to have answers. And they deserve to be treated with respect. Thank you guys so much again for being here. And I'm probably going to go live later this week to talk about some other cases. I did want to point out very quickly, I believe that we have an Amber Alert. And earlier when this Amber Alert went out, there was not a lot of information. There was no pictures of these children. And I just wanted to see if there's any information out about these kids yet. So I'm going to go over here and take a look to find out if we see anything on this case. And I did also see that there is now an Amber Alert in Colorado. So if you guys don't mind, if you have a few minutes, I'm going to share my screen so we can take a look at that. Here we have an Amber Alert in Aurora, Colorado. Oh my goodness, look at this baby. Oh my goodness, y'all. This is Amaya Gordon out of Colorado. Amaya has been missing since October the 18th. She is 10 months old. Let me go back over here. Amaya is a black female. She has black hair and brown eyes. She is 1 feet 7 inches tall and 22 pounds. She was last seen wearing a multicolored butterfly sweatshirt, gray sweatpants, and pink Nike shoes with an orange swoosh. Now, the vehicle that is in question is a white SUV, which is actually a van. It looks like it might have been wrecked on the side right here. And this is apparently the suspect. She's believed to be with Alexis Mears, 18 years old, a black female with black hair and brown eyes. She is 5'4", 110 pounds. Last seen wearing a black headscarf, gray sweatshirt, red sweatpants, and black shoes. May be traveling in a white SUV or a van. If you have any information on this case, please contact Aurora Police Department. Let's see if we can get some information up here. May have to go back and change how I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Here is Amaya right here. And there's Alexis Mears. And again, this is out of Aurora, Colorado. If you have any information, please contact Aurora Police Department at 303-739-1870, or you can always call 911. Now, we do have another Amber Alert, and it looks like the one for Cypress, Texas, is still ongoing. So let me go over here and share my screen to that. Okay, they still don't have any pictures. Here's Jared Manina, missing from Cypress, Texas. He is a 14-year-old male. And it looks like there's 5 children that are missing. Nicholas Manina, who is 8. Zayden Manina, who is 10 years old and a male. Jovian Manina, a 12-year-old male. Javier Manina, who is 12 years old. And Jared Manina, who is 14 years old. And it is also believed that the children's 18-year-old brother, Jamarian Robinson, is with the missing children and his mother and stepfather. The children were last seen on Tuesday, October the 18th, at approximately 5:30 a.m. at 8703 Marina Alto Lane in Cypress, Texas. The missing children may be in a silver Outlander Mitsubishi bearing a Louisiana license plate 234E as in elf, U as in ukulele, F as in Frank. If you have any information on these missing children, they don't even have pictures of the parents available. Please contact Harris County Constable's Office, Precinct Number 5 at 281-463-6666. And of course, you can always call 1-800-THE-LOST with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, or you can also call 911. If you have the ability to share this out onto your social media, guys, that would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. Let's get back over here to the chat for a minute. Yes, what, big eyes? The boyfriend sounds very suspicious, doesn't he? for somebody to not know anything, he sure had a lot of ideas about who might kill Amber. Who said anybody killed her? Sounds like projection to me. We all know about projection. Just look at old Stu. Nico. Had to throw some GSB in there. Yes, the baby Q case has me so heated. I agree. I'll say it again. Negligence. What I want to see happen in baby Q's case, Leilani needs to be arrested, and so does the grandmother. Because the grandmother is responsible as well. She went out of town and left those children with their mother, the very person that wasn't supposed to have custody. That's negligence. And she put those kids in harm's way, and look what happened. She needs to be going to jail too. Absolutely, what big eyes? Absolutely. Well, hello, Crispy Treat. So good to see you, darling. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Nico. You know, I'm just doing what I'd be doing if I didn't have a YouTube channel. I'd be sharing it out on my social media, hanging up flyers in my neighborhood. Take care, Betty Joe. Yeah, 911, that's always a good option. If you don't know the police department to call, always call 911. Always. Hey, Fizzle. I'm so glad you're here. It's good to see you. So, guys, please share all those Amber Alerts. Like I said, we just got that new one an hour ago from Aurora, Colorado, on the 10-month-old. And then we have those 5 boys missing from Cypress, Texas, that may be with their 18-year-old brother, the mother, and the stepfather. So we definitely want to continue to share that information out. I'll probably go make a little video here in a little bit and share that Amber Alert information out. Again, thank you guys so much for being here and being such a great support system for Sharon and her grandchildren as we continue to dive further into this case. And if there's any more future phone calls and updates with the police department, you can guarantee that I will bring it here to you first. And feel free to reach out to me if anyone needs a missing poster made for someone that they know that is missing, or if you have a missing family member, please email me at duchessforthemissing@gmail.com. That number is number 4, Dutchess number 4, themissing@gmail.com. Or you can just hit me up on Facebook Messenger. My Facebook page is Dutchess for the Missing, or you can tweet me and let me know. And I'm happy to make that. And I do it for free of charge. I do it just because I want to. So if you guys ever need anything, you can always hit me up on my email or on my Facebook Messenger. And I'm happy to help. If you know of a case that you would like to see me cover on this channel, don't hesitate to reach out to me and let me know about it, and we'll take a look at it. So I hope everyone has a wonderful Tuesday. I'm sure there's going to be lots of awesome creators that are going to be going live this evening. So stay tuned. I will be doing a live later on this week talking about some other cases, and I will hope to see you here later this week. Everyone take care, and we will see you soon. Bye, y'all.